Hi everybody, welcome back to the Fragrant Bunker. We're going to do the top 5 perfumes for June. You know, for those of you who don't know, June is my month. I was born in the month of June, so I am a fellow Cancerian, and June is a very important month for a person like me who adores perfumes and lives with perfumes, surrounded with perfumes. When my birthday month arrives, I become even more susceptible to what a perfume means to me, what it represents to me. And I kind of don't necessarily always pick perfumes that I gravitate towards in terms of smell that soothes me and suits me the most in that time of the year, but I rather tend to symbolically pick my favorite perfumes for the month of June because, you know, I'm the type of person who becomes a little bit melancholic as my birthday approaches. I'm very happy that my birthday is approaching, but I also become, I think about the past, about what I've done wrong in my life, time passing, the seasons passing, inevitably, with every year that passes, yes, you're wiser and things get better, but also you have less time left. And so, believe it or not, perfumes in June, the older I get, the more perfumes become like a soothing friend, like a friend that kind of helps me in the process of accepting the passage of time. It's like a consolation. It's like the perfumes are consoling me, and you know that it's a lie. It's not going to end well because we all gotta kick the bucket sooner or later. But it's still beautiful to have dear friends and family just hug you, give you a warm embrace and tell you, it's all going to be okay. And perfumes have that effect on me. And I choose them for my birthday month very strategically, okay? They are very much symbolic choices. So this means that I might not be wearing them the most in June, but I will be definitely at least sniffing them the most out of the bottle because they give me a whole thought process, and they give me also kind of like crutches to help me lean on to them as I am kind of veering towards this really difficult month for me. And since my birthday is literally the last day of the month, on the 30th of June, it's like I have an entire month to reminisce and think about things. People, if my birthday were on the 3rd of June, easy. No, but it's the last day of the month, and it's very much like, okay, you got like these 30 days to go through stuff, go through the motions. So I've been on my Dolce Gabbana vintage binge. I am wearing Dolce Gabbana. I have my Dolce Gabbana hair, very 90s, everything. I'm very much in this early 90s Dolce Gabbana phase, decades before they got canceled. Just to be very clear, I'm not supporting what they're doing now. Also, fashion-wise, they lost me towards the end of the 90s. But everything they did in the late 80s and early 90s up until the mid-90s is gold, including the first perfume of our list, Dolce Gabbana Pour Femme. The first perfume that they released in the early 90s, 1992, I believe, was the year that they introduced it. In the eau de toilette form, my gosh, is this a beauty? This brings back memory. Listen, you can actually see my review. I've reviewed this Shiseido version, the latest iteration made in France of Dolce Gabbana Pour Femme eau de toilette, but I've also reviewed the original Euroitalia version. Those are two very different reviews. One of them extremely dramatic, the other one a little bit less dramatic. I'm wearing now the current formula made in France. Dolce Gabbana have since abandoned Shiseido, and now they've taken their perfumes back into their own hands, and they're apparently producing in Italy again, but not with Euroitalia. But I have not smelled the current version made in Italy, allegedly made in Italy, of Dolce Gabbana Pour Femme. So what I have here is a 2-year-old bottle that I purchased new 2 years ago, Shiseido, or Prestige International, made in France. A little bit heavy on the Lily of the Valley when the batch is fresh, but as it ages, as you can see, it turns this beautiful golden ambery color. It gets that whole sandalwoody vanilla accord kind of popping out, but it is a very clean fragrance. It is kind of the 90s version of Chanel No. 5 in some ways. In other ways, it's very different. But it is an aldehyde bomb. So you get that soapy cleanness in the opening note, that sparkly, champagne-y vibe that then goes into clean sheets hanging in the sun of Sicily as I'm wearing my pizza and I'm like, oh, I'm the widow running around, crying about it. By the way, best is to wear this in the hair. The hair transmits the smell the best. I know a lot of people don't like to wear perfume in the hair because it dries the hair out. So I would recommend that you let your hair oil up a little bit a day or two before you put this on. And then it's just a perfect mix because the oils of your hair also carry odors strongly. And then you add perfume to that. And this thing just becomes animalic, just the right amount. Highly recommend spraying this in 2-day dirty hair. Yeah. Perfumes are there to cover up ratchet smells, but if you combine the smells in the right way, you get magic. So, of course, this is reminiscing of the best of fashion times when fashion still meant something and Dolce Gabbana ruled the fashion world back then kindly, but also firmly. So this one is my time travel for the month of June. And it also is a perfume that I really, really enjoy in the evenings. Not so much in the early morning. Unless I've had a really good substantial breakfast, croissants with a lot of pastries and chocolate and coffee, and I've had that voluptuous food, then you can spray this. Not on an empty stomach. Number 2, June of this year of 2023 is a special month because for the first time ever, my movie with Vivian Westwood and Patrick J. Thomas, Art Lovers Unite, is going to be shown underneath the stars. For the first time ever, Art Lovers Unite will be projected in an open-air cinema, and the cinema is built right in front of the museum where we shot the movie. So it's going to be very symbolic because Vivian Westwood and I were in that museum filming, and now we will be showing the movie in front of the museum in the middle of June, shortly before my birthday, for 900 plus people underneath the stars. I mean, it's like taking... I've never heard of a Vivian Westwood movie ever being shown open air. So this might be a first in history. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I checked. I've never heard of any movie where she was in that was ever shown in open air. So this is going to be Vivian Westwood's triumphant moment underneath the stars. And unfortunately, she passed away last December. So in her honor, of course, this month, we would also have Boudoir to honor and remember Vivian Westwood. This little beautiful perfume is just such a masterpiece. It's a very sexual perfume. A lot of marigold, tobacco, dirty rose is in here as well. It has the smoky accord, the hay accord. It's a roll in the hay. In fact, many a times this fragrance has been described as having a post-coital smell. It's kind of the smell that you have after you've been rolling in the hay for a while with your partner or lover, and then you're done with the deed. And then you have that odor left of the person that you've had that passion with and that you're also feeling something for. And then you're just laying there after it's done and you still have their smell on you, but you also have your own smell. The hormones have been triggered and activated and your body just starts smelling differently. This one is very reminiscent of that. Also thanks to that dirty, earthy marigold. The marigold in this one, divine. And then it all warms down to this gorgeous vanilla. Gorgeous vanilla. Let's layer. Oh my gosh. It starts off as a ratchet bubblegum. Dusty, dusty bubblegum. Like a fruity bubblegum, a pink bubblegum accord. In fact, the juice is pink when the batch is brand new. But then the vanilla, as the vanilla oxidizes and ripens, it turns to this ambery gold color. But, you know, since Boudoir has been discontinued, we can only find the darker colors now because they're not producing fresh batches anymore. But, you know, I still remember my Boudoir in the pink color. And I do have a huge factice of it as well. It still has that original pink color because it doesn't have perfume in it. It just colored liquid. So that liquid did not change color. It's still pink. So we still have a memory of how it originally was. But I took a bunch of pictures of these bottles when they were fresh out of the box. So I do have a very vivid memory of the beautiful pink bubblegummy color of the liquid, of that rosy, innocent color. There's an innocence to it when you first spray it on. And then as it ripens on the skin, it goes darker and deeper, and it becomes so mature and highly sexual. A masterpiece. What else can I say? So to honor Vivian, on my birthday, it's Boudoir all the way. I mean, this month could not have been my birthday month without Vivian Westwood's only perfume. The company made others, but she only made one. There's a big difference between Vivian Westwood, the woman, and Vivian Westwood, the company. Now, it's such a symbolic scent, and it's such a symbolic moment. And, you know, this whole past year, so Art Lovers Unite premiered in July of 2022 at the Melbourne Documentary Film Festival. So it's almost been a year. Boy, what a way to end the year of traveling around the world, premiering this movie everywhere. What a way to end the year with this smell underneath the stars in front of the museum where we shot the movie. It's going to be amazing. The next one is also very symbolic, and it is a perfume that most people utilize in winter. But I personally prefer it in the summer months. Now, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and thumb up this video if you're enjoying it thus far. You can also join me on Patreon, superdacob all spelled together, for extra perks, such as a lot of extra content. And if you want to spend more time with me, be sure to join me on Patreon, because I also live stream every Saturday before my main live streams on my main channel. There's like a 2+ hour pre-show just with my tier 2 members for my main channel and patrons. So thanks for that. Thank you for allowing me to plug myself in. I am filming this video in front of a live studio audience right now, actually virtual audience. So I have my co-chatters on the side. So listen, this particular perfume is a masterpiece of the early 2000s. And I just love how it warms up on the skin like a burning old mansion in the middle of a forest. And this thing is baroque to the point of no return. It starts off with a licorice accord, fennel accord, right? Lavender accord, but then it goes into the burned woods, deep, deep, deep down in some hidden forest, far, far away. And that would be Dior's Eau Noire, as formulated and now reformulated by Francis Kurkdjian. And this is a beauty. Yeah, let's play it. Just a little bit goes a long way. Oh, okay. Caramelized licorice accord. Now, you know, it used to have a green color, and I do have the Cologne because it first came only in Cologne concentration. Said that Hedi Slimane wanted a perfume for himself while he was working at Dior Homme, and so Francis developed a perfume for Hedi, which was Eau Noire, as a Cologne concentration in the green colorway. And then as Demachy took over Dior Perfumes, he kind of segregated Eau Noire to only being available online and only in some countries. And he reformulated it from Eau de Cologne to Eau de Parfum, made it a little bit more aggressive. The green color changed to a more acidy green. And then when Francis Kurkdjian took over Christian Dior Perfumes after Demachy retired, Of course, he brought back his masterpiece from Dior. The first thing he did was to revamp Eau Noir, as well as Cologne Blanche, but he took away the color. Now, yeah, I don't know. I would have preferred it to stay green, to be honest with you. It does smell different now. It's also been reformulated. You know, there's a different smell to it. I still adore it to bits, but why am I choosing Eau Noir? I'm choosing Eau Noir because I love to lose myself in this very synthetic artificial forest, which, is it a fougere? It's like a Byzance Renaissance fougere type of fragrance. It's a it's its own creation, and I love it to bits. And I love the burned woods at the core, at the heart of this perfume, because it just takes you to a place where you're allowed to say tabula rasa. Best time of year is my birthday, to say tabula rasa. Let's burn it all to the stake and let's begin anew. And let's rise out of those ashes like the phoenix that we is on the 1st of July. So this is a perfume that allows me to kind of just, just like send everything away, just stop with everything and just say, you know what? No, we're good. You know what? I enough reminiscing, enough being depressed because it's my birthday yet again. It's all good. It's all good. Let's just let it all go and let's begin anew. And this one helps me in that respect. It lifts me up very much so. The next one is, since I started doing years ago my top 5 of the month fragrances, this one has, I think from the get-go, has always been present in June. And for those of you who follow me for a long time, you know which one it is. And it is a perfume that I particularly, of all the months of the year, it's in June that I adore it the most. I think this perfume was created to be worn in June, especially on days when you have those gorgeous summer showers. Everything is humid, and then there's that petrichor in the air. That would be Chanel's Cuir de Russie. I have it here in the Eau de Toilette bottle that my mom gifted me for my birthday several years ago. I use this one sparingly because she gifted it to me. I do have several bottles of Cuir de Russie, but also I have several bottles of the Eau de Parfum, and I have the pure perfume as well. But this is that special bottle that my mom bought me that always gets a special highlight moment during my birthday month. Cuir de Russie by Chanel from the Les Exclusives collection. This concoction from the 20s, the mastermind behind it being Ernest Beau. Oh my God, you guys. No. Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah. Heaven. Heaven. Like you are... Oh boy, it's like it leaves you breathless. The rose accord in here with the aldehydes and the leather. The leather here is a suede. It's a soft, dusty, powdery suede. There's hints of hay. You're also rolling in the hay with this one. But there's humidity in the air. You know, there's something about this perfume that is so nostalgic but firm, dignified, but just hints of dirty. Oh man, this thing is so beautiful. It's strong, it's firm. It literally makes me immediately think of the best times with Chanel. It brings back the memory of Coco Chanel, of her life, of her legacy. And check out on my main channel the 5 books I recommend you to read about Coco Chanel, because all of those rumors you've heard about are all debunked officially. And there's documents, court documents and state documents to prove it. So don't believe what people tell you about her collaboration and this and that. None of that is true. Just FYI. But we digress. This brings back her to me. Whenever I smell Cuir de Russie, Coco is by my side. Always. Always. And I've always loved the brand Chanel because of Coco, not because of the brand Chanel. This is coincidentally also why nowadays I don't buy anything anymore from the fashion house Chanel, because I have the feeling they have forsaken Coco. It's really sad. But when I smell Cuir de Russie, Coco is alive again. And now that Vivian unfortunately passed away, whenever I smell Boudoir, Vivian is alive as well. And these two ladies were very similar despite their differences, believe it or not. They were both... Coco was punk before punk was even a thing. And Vivian carried forth the torch of punk and gave it a definition. So Cuir de Russie, highly symbolic perfume for me, very spiritual, very important for me in the month of June. Number 5. Now, the 5th fragrance, this one I've never actually had in my top 5 list for June, and I'm actually surprised myself that I chose it. But every now and then, I decide to really dive into my more vampire character. You know, I always say I'm 237 years old after all. There's a certain quality in this particular year. You know, we've exited the pandemic. It's behind us. It's like, where have 3 years of our lives gone? I have the feeling this is maybe my first birthday after all of those 3 years that have been the Twilight Zone. And I feel like we lost so much time. In a way, I feel like almost only 1 year has passed since like time stopped for me when the pandemic began. So I feel like, well, no time has passed. But at the same time, I know that 3 years have passed. But then at the same time, I feel like those 3 years are like 10 years because of the stress levels we went through. Those 3 years aged us a lot emotionally, but also physically. And there's this notion of twilight that I'm feeling inside of me. There's like this, I don't want to say depression that I'm carrying with me, but there's like this feeling of sorrow, of sadness, of the pain that this world has gone through these past 3, well now 4 years almost, right? There's just this notion of, I feel, despite, you know, times are really tough at the moment. People are separating each other. There's a lot of hate. There's a lot of conversation about, you know, making homosexuals illegal and this and that. Like, it's a terrible stuff is happening in this world. And yet I feel that we are one. I always believed that we are all, you know, like a beehive. We're all connected. And the sooner we accept and embrace that, and the sooner we will truly find happiness. And there's just this sadness that I feel for us humans, because we are so lost. I've never felt humanity and our society being so lost like it is now. It's like so many people are sheep, blinded, wounded sheep roaming about in the dark, kind of, you know, doing the bah, bah, you know, trying to find their way back home, but they're lost. And I feel loneliness. I feel like the world is going through such a lonely time. And there is a sensation of twilight, of that moment of the day when the sun is almost completely down and you have that blue hour of the day. So L'Or Bleu by Guerlain in the Eau de Parfum concentration is my number 5 fragrance. Oh, it's a heartbreaking perfume. This one smells, to me, of how our society feels to me right now. And so I choose this perfume not because I particularly love it. It's a very difficult one to love for me, but I choose it because it's a reminder to me of the state of things we're at right now. And it's a reminder to me that there's a lot of work to be done. But the fact that that emotion has a perfume and that that perfume to me is L'Or Bleu, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. I say this often, but a lot of Guerlain perfumes have that undertone of depression somehow to me, which is not a bad thing, but they're very thought-provoking and heavy on the heart. They weigh heavy on the heart. They force you to really think about who you are, what you are feeling. Why are you feeling what you are feeling? It's a very, very analytical fragrance. Most of Guerlain perfumes are. They literally force you to analyze things, to think about what you're going through. They force you to not escape your feelings, but they actually force you to confront them. And I think there's no better time than your birthday month to deal with these issues and be very psychological about it. So here goes. Oof. That was the Blue Hour. And those were my top 5 perfumes for the month of June of 2023. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know your top 5 in the comment section down below. And if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to thumb it up and to subscribe. Thank you to my co-chatters who are all in the chats, who were all powdery bomb. Yes, Tina. My favorite perfume was the Old Samsara. I miss it so much, says Handbag Diva. That was a good sandalwood. That was a good sandalwood. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you loads. Until next time, subscribe and never give up on love. Bye.